Hey Chargers, Mr. Wallace here. These are your last three assignments of the year. This is Advanced Math 45. And Advanced Math 45 are a set of, there's three different areas that we're going to review. We'll do the same thing on, this is Advanced Math 46, not 45. Advanced Math 46, then we have 47, then we have 48. Sorry about that, I got my numbers wrong. So, first thing is write the sentence as an inequality. The second one is solve the inequality, graph the solution. And then the last one is write the sentence as an inequality, graph the inequality. So we're going to be doing all of those things. We're going to start right here. And so what I like to do is highlight keywords. The first thing we want to do is find our variable. And the next phrase tells us what we're going to write. Is fewer than. B is fewer than. Okay, so how do we start that? B is fewer than. All right, so you want the fewer symbol next to the B. B is fewer than 30.4. All right, 30.4. So that's how you write that inequality. The next one, we're going to do largely the same process. So we have -7/10. You can go ahead and start with that, okay? -7/10. We can go ahead and start with that. That's gone. Is at least. Is at least. That means that -7/10 is larger than what's coming next. Is at least. Or it's equal to. So this is at least a number k minus 4, all right? You might think that that means that -7/10 is smaller than. Well, that would be it's at most. It's at most, right? So if it's at least, then we have the larger than and smaller than symbol. And then what you have is a number k minus 4. That's pretty simple. There's your variable, right? K minus 4. So that's an example of how you would break down and write inequalities. That's not all you need to know, but that's part of what you need to know. The next section is solve the inequality, graph the solution. This is really pretty similar to solving an equation. It's virtually identical except for one move that I don't think we're going to come into. Yes, we will. Actually, -9c. -9c we'll have to do. We'll have to flip the symbol around, but that's really the only difference that we have with equations. These are two-step equations. We have a -1 and we have a ×4. So we're going to undo those using inverses, okay? So at this point, this cancels out. We have 4 times b is smaller than whatever 7 plus 1 is. That's 8. And then the next move is to divide by 4, divide by 4. That cancels out, so b is smaller than, right? 8 divided by 4 is 2. So that's how you go about that one. On number 2, like I say, I already underlined -9c. So you have an 8 here, and then it's -9 times c. So the multiplication is always done last. This is a positive 8, so the inverse of that is -8. Okay, that's the first move. That cancels that portion out, leaving you with -9 times c, larger than or equal to something. And then -28 minus 8, it's getting more negative. So really we add those digits together, and so that should be -36. Okay, at this point, and I'm not going to explain it because I explained it when I taught it to you, we are dividing by a -9. And whenever you divide by a negative number, right, you're going to turn the symbol around. So C is smaller than or equal to -36 over -9, which is a positive 4. Okay, so remember that. Whenever you are multiplying or dividing by a negative coefficient, you're going to flip the symbol around. Now comes for graphing. We've got one in red and one in blue. So B is smaller than 2. We do this with circles, okay? So B is smaller than 2. That is an open circle on 2, and smaller than would be to the left, For the blue one, we have C is smaller than or equal to. That is a different kind of dot. Smaller than or equal to 4, so we'll find 4. That is what we call a filled in or closed dot. And the closed dot indicates that C could be 4 and then everything smaller than 4, right? So it's a kind of a combo move where the one in red, what it essentially says is that 2 is not a solution, but everything's smaller than 2. So that's the difference between the open and the closed. And lastly, we're going to write these inequalities, and then we're going to graph them. So we have to write them, we have to solve them, then we have to graph them a little bit more comprehensive. We'll start with number 1 here. A number D is more than. Okay, so D is more than 0, and it's less than 10. So D is less than 10. Okay, this is really a combo or a compound here where they're telling you that D is between a range of numbers. So if you look at everything, D is more than 0. There you have it right there. And then on the other side is where you do the less than. Okay, so you'll notice that nothing is equal. It can't be 10, it can't be 0, but it's the numbers in between. So we're going to put open dots on 10 and on 0. I don't have a 10. So what I'll do is I'll just make a fake number line right here. All right. And we'll, and you could do this too. This is 10. This is 0. You could just sketch one out. And then what we want to do is we want to use an open circle on 10 and open circle on 0. And then we got to figure out how this works. D is larger than 0. Well, larger would be to the right. Okay. And then 10, D is smaller than 10. So what happens is that the line converges on one another, and so basically D is any number between 0 and 10. Okay, we'll go to number 2. We'll do number 2 in blue. A number A. So we have A. This is number 2, and A is fewer than -6. So A is fewer than -6, and no less than. So it could be more than, but not less than, right? So A could be more than. And if it's no less than, that means that it also could be -3. So A is no less than, which technically means A is bigger than. But if it's not less, then it's got to be more, right? So again, we have -3 and we have -6. We do have those. So the -3 would be a filled in circle because of the no less than remark. And then the 6 would be -6 would be an open circle. And then we've got to figure out direction. A is smaller than -6. So A goes that way. Oops. Let me try that again. So this arrow goes this way. And then A is larger than or equal to -3, which means that the arrow goes in opposite directions. So that is really a statement of what A is not. Right? So A is not -6. It's not -5. It's not -4. It's not -3.5, right? But it's everything other than that. Okay? All right, Chargers, I hope that helps for Advanced Math 46. You guys have an awesome day.